Alright, I'm doing it because I did it for Koa. I'm gonna do it for this, for Bronzebeard, because honestly, like the different phases, every class is gonna perform differently. And like each one's gonna have different advantages as like each phase comes along and whatnot. I think it's kind of spoken on what like the S tier classes are versus like the D tier, which honestly there's some classes I'd put at an F tier, but they just don't have F. So this is just for the level 25 phase, which they're gonna up the scaling to 30 on the 10th. So a lot of classes are going to open up. I know Shaman's going to be way better. I'm praying that Rogue should be better. Warlock's going to be really good because they're going to have Shadow Crash and whatnot. But this is just because I know this is exactly what happened to Koa. Like, I came out with a tier list video, and then they fucking... I'm still getting shunned for having an opinion. Well, honestly, this is not even an opinion. Like, they just... Some of these just fucking suck. But we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to try and do, like... I'm going to try and find, like, an average. Because I know there's different specs and different roles for each class. So it's not going to be just, like... I'm not just going to favor, like... You know... I'm not going to, like, put... I'm trying to think of an example. I'm not going to put Shaman at F tier just because Enhance sucks. You know what I mean? There definitely are some classes. So we're just going to get straight in. I'm going to start with myself because I know better than anyone else here and on the server. Warrior is definitely A. And the only reason why I'm putting it at A tier, and like I said, this is just level 25. The amount of spell damage that you're affected by literally every single pull as a prot warrior is ridiculous. And to find a weapon that's going to hit hard but also is like fast enough for you to generate rage is kind of hard at the level that we're at. Just because we have like level 40 dungeons available, everything like even in that bracket really sucks. We're not going to really see like Fury or Arms Warrior really step it up, because I mean like the Universal Warrior spell for all DPS right now is just Thunderclap and Crackling Thunder. If you're using Blood and Thunder, then you're using Blood and Thunder. And really, Warriors are really only hitting a lot because of that, and they're stacking that with Counterpoise. I can't use Counterpoise because I'm a tank, so I need to pick up some other shit. That's really what's saving Warrior from being any lower on the DPS meter, right? All we got is Thunderclap and Cleave, and tanks have Revenge, and that's pretty much all that we have. That's really why I wouldn't put it as S tiers, because like when it comes to like spell damage, we don't have Spell Reflect. We're not gonna get Spell Reflect until like level 50, some shit like that. Yeah, level 50. So we're not gonna get that until level 50, which is a huge issue because we have a lot of phases to go, and there's gonna be a lot of dungeons where we're gonna definitely feel that, like Blackrock Depths. We're gonna feel it in Ubers and LBRS and Skullomance and Strathholm. I feel it a lot when I run Sunken Temple. And when I run, like, dungeons like, what was the one I was complaining about? Maradon. The imps are a little bit overscaled when it comes to their poison bolt. And the whelps in the Sunken Temple, the deadly poison, it just ticks too much. Like, it's not scaled correctly. But still, it does a lot of damage. And that's the only reason why I would put it at A tier is because of that. Other than that, it's a really well-rounded class. DPS is good. Only thing is, like, if they did anything the Thunderclap, like, Warrior would drop drastically. Next, we have Shaman. I'm putting Shaman at B tier. And that's like Resto and Elemental. You can't really use Enhance right now. It's kind of hard unless like you really have some Bis gear. Bis being like Iron Foe, Flurry Axe, anything that's going to get like those extra hits in, just to proc things. I know that they added Primal Strike into Koa. It's not like a true classic experience, right? So they added like Primal Strike, which was, I think it was like a Kata spell or something like that was added in to help enhance at lower levels and stuff. I mean, you have that, but the thing is like if you're gonna go Shaman, like you really can only build into like int spell power and whatnot. The gear's easy to find, but it just doesn't. There's not a lot of reward for playing enhanced Shaman right now. Resto Druid's really good. Or not Druid, Resto Shaman. Resto Shaman's really good. The totems definitely help. The purging definitely helps. Not to mention Shamans like have a universal wind shear that's like 6 seconds, like on a timer, which is amazing for kicks, especially since like as a warrior tank, right? We were just talking about spell damage. that really helps in order to make some of these packs more maintainable and more doable. Especially since I don't have to, like, rogues have to go across the room. They have to spend energy. It's like 25 energy per kick. Get the ad across. He's going to pull more shit. No, it's easy with a Shaman. Just wind shear. It's got good range. Everything's going to go to you. So overall, I would say Shaman's probably at a B tier as of right now. It's definitely going to get a lot better for level 30. I'm not too familiar with the Shaman kit, but from what I see, Shamans are going to be a lot more viable enhance-wise because of the fact that they're going to be able to use two. I think they're going to be able to use two-handers at level 30. So I think Enhanced Shaman's going to be really good. Maybe we just got to wait until this next phase. That's why I'm putting it at B tier. If Enhanced Shaman's ass, that shit's dropping. I'm just saying. Wind shear can only save so much. Paladin, I would say A tier. Super easy class to play. I mean, and they would be S tier if prot wasn't really dog shit. It's just doesn't feel like you're a tank when you're a prot Powie. Like, you'll have, like, divine prot, right? Up, and then after that goes away. It's just super shitty. But the one thing that the paladins have that the warriors don't is, like, the spell absorption. Like, the way that they take spell damage, they just handle it way better than warriors do. And they will at a lower level until warriors hit level 50. Plus, you guys have, like, a really good kit. I mean, I don't know if a vendor shield actually interrupts on impact. I don't really know because I haven't leveled a paladin. I don't want to join the bandwagon. There's so many paladins on the server that I just don't want to feed into it. So, I mean, paladins really, consecration is like 60% of every ret paladin's DPS. Super good. Seal of command, obviously, that's going to be really good. We've seen with the one with the light, I mean, with the mystic scrolls and mystic enchants and stuff, like how much that they boost the DPS for seal of command and stuff. So, I mean, there's really not much to say about the paladin. I mean, it's just super OP. The only thing that's really hard about, I feel like they would do more if there was more, like, hybrid gear. Because that's, like, the only class that, like, naturally needed hybrid gear in terms of, like, strength in spell power. And also kind of relies on, like, crit and whatnot. But I think once Divine Storm comes into play and the AoE start, I mean, not just AoE, but there's the more hard-hitting spells, like, we're definitely going to see Paladin overall be a lot better. But, yeah, A tier. Resto Druid, I mean, it's too good to not put it S, honestly. Like, even bear tanking is super fun, too. I mean, the only downside is, like, the Druid DPS, but, like, I don't really believe that people are going to be playing Druid to play DPS. Like, you would just play a different class at that point. Like, you're definitely, like, trying to be useful in a team aspect when you're playing Druid. So, like, usually it's pretty 50-50 whether people go heals or people go tank. And tanking, honestly, is pretty good DPS, too, because, I mean, all you do is just bear swipe. That's all you fucking do. That's literally all you do. You can do that. I've seen so many DPS enter a dungeon and go into bear and just bear swipe. So, I mean, it's honestly just a really good kit in general. Druid's really good. The only thing is, like, low level. Like, it's really hard to have that MP5 to make it sustainable for larger pulls, but you could build into that. Once you get intensity maxed out and you get Omen of Clarity, Druid, it's just snore. Like, it's literally just regrowth, rejuve, healing touch every now and then. If you have a good tank, then you're just stopping at regrowth. But I think it's going to be interesting to kind of see, once we get into level 30, how much of a difference it's going to make. I mean, it's the same for a lot of these other classes, too. I mean, they're going to have really good kits at level 30. 5 levels is going to make a huge difference. But right now, as it stands, Resto Druid is probably the top healer you could have. Every single healer I've had has been a Resto Druid by choice, and just amazing. Absolutely, the number one healer right now. I think it's gonna stay that way for a really long fucking time until someone tries to, like, come out of the box with it. Dude, I don't even know if I could put Rogue at D tier. Like, Rogue is so bad right now. Rogue is so bad. Honestly, dude, I feel like F tier is kind of like overkill. It's kind of like over shit talking. It's so bad, though. I don't know. It's like right here for me. It's like right on the line. Like, half of the Rogue is D tier and the other half is F tier. It's just so bad. And I don't even think it's the Rogue's fault. I think it's the devs. Like, the entire Rogue kit is just fucking busted. You can't even... It's like a Rogue going into stealth. The, like, stealth detection of mobs is just, like, crazy. Insane. It's like using a battle horn. It pulls, like, half the dungeon. It's stupid. But Rogues are definitely... I'll put it at D tier just because I'm about to say this. Combat Rogue is about to be super crazy. Either that or Poison Bomb. I've kind of seen like the cards for both. I like Sword Spec Rogue. I think it's going to be better. But Poison Bomb is going to be really good for like the Mythic Plus scene or like just mass dungeon running, right? It's going to have super good AoE. I think honestly that's what's going to save Rogue. But they really need to optimize it and fucking make it actually playable because Rogue is just stupid. It's stupid. The energy conservation is really dumb. Fucking, like, you can get, like, in a 1 minute boss fight, you're probably hitting, like, 14, 15 abilities. And they're all, like, fucking backstab, eviscerate. Like, the kit for Rogue is super fucking unoptimized, unbalanced. It's not that the Rogues are bad. Like, naturally, the server made the rogue kit like really bad. So hopefully we see that like once they phase it on the 10th. Like hopefully we see Rogues actually kick up and do some damage because it's just stupid. It's just dumb. Next, Warlock C tier. I'm sorry, I don't care if you're a Warlock player. This is all PvE, by the way. I don't give a fuck about PvP. No one cares about PvP. We had 19 years of classic PvP. I'm trying to, like, Ascension PvE. I think it, like, stands out way more than, like, classic PvE ever did. Especially since you can find random shit. But we're talking about PvE. Warlock is just insane. Warlock is, like, potential. Insane potential. But I don't think that there's enough right now at 25 to determine whether or not this class is going to be good. At 25, it's pretty dog shit. Future, it's got potential. Like I said, Pure Shadow is going to happen. Or Shadow Crash or whatever. That's going to really open up like multiple doorways for the Warlock, which is like super exciting. It kind of made me want to level Warlock. I haven't yet, but I think I might. Just so I can kind of get to have fun with that before they start making changes, because like as it reads, the way that it scales to 25 with the skill cards, Shadow Crash just looks OP. It just looks stupid. Like, it's going to be such a good dungeon running class. I can't see Warlock not being in like every single group, like chain pulling these dungeons, like just speed running through dungeons. I think Warlock has a lot of potential. Right now though, it's just not good. It's just not good. Rain of Fire doesn't really get you that far. I mean, it's like the same thing kind of like as Paladins, like with the Consecrate, except like the Consecrate actually does DPS. Rain of Fire really doesn't. Like, you have to have a lot of mobs to actually see numbers come pumping through. So that's the only reason why. I mean, Warlocks have like a really good kit. Obviously, you get Healthstone, Soulstone. That's great. But you don't need Soulstones if you're, killing everything. Right? So, I mean, Warlocks are, they're alright. They are okay. Mage, it's another C tier class. I'm sorry for all the Mage players. I mean, Blizzard, Arcane Explosion, Frost Nova. They just don't perform right now. I don't think they're gonna perform for a while. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think mages are gonna be relevant for a really long time. I think it takes too many cards that they don't have, and they just don't have the abilities unlocked right now to just excel. Like Warlock's definitely gonna surpass Mage in the level 30 phase. Mage is probably good for PvP. I don't know. honestly. But like PvE wise, they're at the really weak end of the spectrum. Like they just don't do that much damage, and I just don't think they will. I don't even think gear will help you. Like it's just they don't do that good. They don't do that good at all. I hate to say it because I love Mage and Classic, but here, like versus all the other classes, the kits are just too good. Like Mage is definitely lacking. Hunter, I'm gonna put at B. And the reason why it's just B and I like A, and what's really saving it from being C, is it's just really fucking good if you got the right build and the right gear. Like you have to put everything in the AP and agility. If you don't have everything in the, and there's that one trinket, gives like 100, like it's like 100. Is there 100 nearby? Every hunter should have it. Gives you like 100 pet attack power. Like it's just stupid, and it's not for that long, but it's just great. Okay, this guy doesn't have it. I don't know what he's playing. He's got immolation traps out the ass. All right. Well, it exists. You guys are just gonna have to believe me, and it's super good. But I mean, the auto shot build. I mean, like that's. I've seen like single target wise it go up to like 300, like maybe a little bit above 300, averaging a little bit below 300, but I mostly see 300 in like the hunters I play with, like Butt Things and ZSP Hunt. Really good hunters. But I've also seen a lot of hunters try to go the melee route. And I've seen a lot of hunters try the auto shot without gear, and it just doesn't show up. It's not that good. But with the right tuning, you can make hunter really fucking OP. It's just there's not a lot of ways to like. There's not a lot of different routes. Like you have to run specific talents, have certain items, and you have to have certain mystic scrolls. If not, you're just in the dirt. And like I know that's kind of the case for a lot of classes, but like if you really don't follow the meta for hunter, you're really not like doing any damage, and people are gonna look at you like a freak. There was actually a hunter doing solo damage in one of my RDFs that my healer asked if he ran out of ammo. He didn't run out of ammo. He didn't even say anything. He just ignored. But he was doing that low of DPS because he just wasn't like running key shit. And then I invite ZSP Hunt, and he's doing like 300 and 330 or some shit. So Hunter's in a good place if you have the right shit. You have to have the right shit. If you don't have the right shit, you're not really doing it right. And lastly, we have Priest. I'm just gonna put him at A tier. I think honestly, Discipline, Holy, Priest is just really good. Priest is really good. The heals are really good. The only thing is, and I think honestly this is just a skill issue, is that they run out of ammo. They run out of mana super fast. But I've seen a lot of good healers, like Elena. She's a really good healer. That's on Bronzebeard. She's actually running Blackrock Depths right now. Really strong healer. Like Priest kit, super good if you know how to be conservative with the mana. Same thing with Druid, but I feel like there's a lot more hots and stuff that make Druid. That's why honestly that's why Druid's S tier is because of the hots. I mean, Priests have Renew. That's pretty much. I mean, there's probably more to it, but that's the only one I could think of. And they're not nearly as good as Regrowth and Redruve, especially if you have the card that makes it kind of like Eden to both. Like they increase each other. The only thing about Priest, though, is like the shadow. The shadow aspect isn't really good right now. I'm sure there's going to be like a really cool Smite build or Mindflay build or maybe Madness of the Old Gods like later on in other phases. But right now as Priest stands, they're only viewed as a healer, and they're really good. They're really good at healing. And they're really easy to gear, really, because I mean, they even DPS really eat into Spirit as well. So I think I honestly I don't know why I haven't made a Priest yet. I've been wanting to. I made a Druid though, but Priest is definitely like on the list to level up and get geared because honestly, their kit is just so amazing. They got the Psychic Fear, especially if you're really really good at conserving mana. Priest is gonna be really good. Like I'm telling you, it's gonna be really good. That's honestly why it's A tier. Not S tier because of DPS, A tier because the healing is just amazing. But honestly, that's my opinion on the tier list. This is just for the level 25 bracket. This is just for the testing that they have now. Everything's an alpha. If you haven't played Bronzebeard and you're watching this, you'll understand. It's really good. Is it worth $35? I mean, that's kind of subjective. It's kind of on you. But if you do manage to get access, or you have access and you haven't tried it yet, this is honestly like a really good server to play. So if you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe. Don't mind her in the background. Comment your opinions, because this is going to change for the 30 phase. I know people are going to kind of watch this like a year from now and say, "What's this guy doesn't know what he's fucking talking about." Lots going to change. I mean, they're changing shit every single day. They've been changing so much shit that Hunter lost its ability to auto shoot earlier today. So they're obviously making a lot of fundamental changes in the coding and the way classes work. And I think, honestly, I mean, it's an alpha. Like, shit's supposed to happen. Shit's supposed to feel weak or too strong. That's kind of what we're here for, is to balance it. It's just really hard for the devs to figure out what's important to balance, because everybody's complaining about everything. So it's kind of hard. All the scaling's off for mobs. It's just all shit. But it's going to get better. Like I said, like the video. See my other videos. Koa, Elune. I have them all. And I'll see you guys in the next video.